So, I recently watched the new Disney Pixar film Lightyear, a spin-off of the popular Toy Story franchise, and I wanted to give you guys my thoughts. First, I'll start with the trailers. Before the movie came out, I'd already seen a few of the trailers, so I knew about the time travel aspects a little bit and the general premise of the film. And I was really intrigued. It seemed like an interesting concept. I really wanted to know what they did with it. And I kid you not, 18 days before Lightyear came out, we got a new puppy and named her Izzy. Seriously, can't make that stuff up. I also want to give a warning that this will be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the film, I urge you to go see it and then come back and watch this video. The animation was amazing. It was stylized but realistic, and maybe that was due to the fact that it was a lot of sci-fi environments, a lot of stuff you wouldn't really see in real life, but I just appreciated Pixar stretching themselves a little and not focusing on total 100% photorealism. The humans also had this effect. They were stylized, but more realistic than a Toy Story character. The story was really well told. I liked that despite showing what I thought at the time was too much in the trailers, there was a lot more to this movie that we didn't understand until seeing it. They left a lot of stuff out of context or to mislead you, but not in a way where you'd be disappointed with the film. That was really smart. I was continually surprised by where the film was going. It was a very brisk pace, a little faster than I was expecting. I thought there'd be slower moments or quieter moments. There were plenty of quiet moments, plenty of thoughtful moments, but perhaps a faster pace was unexpected. The whole sequence of Buzz just testing the hyperfuel over and over and slipping further and further through time was really quite heartbreaking. I mean, his relationship with Alicia and then with Izzy, it's believable and it's touching. I thought both setups had very good chemistry and they played off each other really well. These aren't characters I feel are neatly inserted into Buzz's life. I feel like they've always been there, we just haven't been aware of them, and that's really good writing. I wouldn't call this a prequel, but it's kind of like informing Buzz's character retroactively, which is a very interesting choice on Pixar's part, and I wonder if in any future Toy Story projects we'll see this movie referenced at all. Probably. I was on the whole Zurg actually being Buzz from the future twist. It just feels like this weird trend in Hollywood or in storytelling where every villain needs to have like some kind of sympathetic backstory or a surprising twist, that they're like more than just a cookie cutter villain. It's not that it didn't work for the story. It actually worked really well for the story they were trying to tell. It fit the themes really good, and I think it works in that respect. I just prefer something more like Buzz Lightyear of Star Command's take on the character, where he's very evil. Obviously, if I were writing this movie myself, I would have made it a less comedic version than Wayne Knight's take on the character, but I do think something more along the lines of a Emperor Palpatine, more hands-on Emperor Palpatine, would have been more what I envisioned Zurg being in a serious movie. But it worked fine. I'm not saying it didn't, just not my personal taste. I think that if they'd played Zurg more straight, I would have been happier with that choice. The characters worked really well. I liked all of them. Buzz especially was just the sort of hero figure that I hoped he would be. I was kind of afraid they would make him dumb or stupid or pig-headed in a bad way that just took away from the character's awesomeness. But they really worked hard to make a believable, flawed protagonist, and that is very hard to do and very impressive. I'm very glad with that. I loved his arc and the lesson of self-forgiveness, of letting go of the past, that we can make a good future, that sometimes bad things do happen, but they can lead to good outcomes if we look for them and if we try and work with what we've got. That is a fantastic lesson for kids and adults to learn. Izzy was also great. Her arc was handled great. It was great. Very similar to Buzz's arc. They work really well with each other. They help send home the message of self-forgiveness, and they help each other learn. So it made sense to pair them up in this movie. Basically, the whole movie is about falling with grace, learning to get back up again. Some might even say it was about falling with style. And Socks was the best character in any Pixar movie ever. Fight me. I love him, and I'm not even gonna get over the death of old Socks. I am permanently scarred. I'm very mad at you, Pixar. How could you do this to me? I love Socks. Best character ever. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's definitely worth watching for any fan of Toy Story, any fan of Pixar. It's so cool to see a genre piece that takes itself seriously in an animated kids movie, because what was really cool is they they didn't make a movie just for kids, like Pixar always does. They made a movie that is for everyone. And in this case, even a little more for the adults that grew up watching Toy Story, because that's their real audience here. They're making this movie to appeal to fans who grew up with Toy Story, and now they have the big bucks to shell out the cash and buy, Buzz Lightyear products. Maybe a cynical take, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good to know your audience and to know that there are fans of animation who are adults, a lot of fans who are adults, and who love the medium. Well, I'm getting off track, but it is a wonderful movie. I urge you to go see it. Great film. I hope we see more genre pieces of sci-fi, romance, mystery, all the great genres represented in animation, played straight and not just made into a comedy. That would be wonderful. Love the film, 8 out of 10. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I have more reviews on my channel, as well as art and writing tutorials, and just a whole lot of fun stuff for you to enjoy. So thanks for watching, have a good day, Internet, and if you really enjoyed my content, please consider supporting me on Patreon. That's all for now.